She's back. Yeah. It's been a minute. Welcome to Girl Meets Green. My name is Norma, your host or whatever. We are back, and what better way to be back than when Love is Blind propaganda? As we all know, Ashley has interviewed with AD on What's the Reality podcast. I haven't watched the podcast. Honestly, I think I saw like clips on TikTok, but for some reason my brain didn't process like, oh, this is a podcast, like you can watch it. But anyways, she has had quite a few Love is Blind. She has had quite a few Love is Blind contestants on there, but we're here to talk about Ashley's interview, and we're just gonna jump right in because what the fuck? It gave us everything and nothing at the same time. You know what I mean? Let me start off with my thoughts on AD and through all of this, okay? In AD's defense, I've got two, like, in AD's defense situations. Well, one. Let me go with the first that's not really, but is. AD, if you're going to interview people, you need to do your research. Or you need to pay somebody to do the research for you. Same thing I said about the Dear Future Wifey podcast, where they both had that whole, like, I didn't watch it all. It was a mess. It was messy. I didn't watch it. I don't know. So why are you interviewing this person? Because then you won't have, like... You wonder what questions to ask. You're taking whatever that person's saying at face value. And so it doesn't really add anything to the conversation. And then her trying to sit there being like, this is just your place. Like, she wanted to say this is your safe space without saying it's your safe space because she knew, like, it's going on social media. Everyone's gonna see it. All those people who've had opinions about her are going to continue to have opinions about her. And so it was funny to me that she's doing all that when it's like, girl, you know you're just doing this interview because you knew it was going to get the freaking views, bro. People been waiting to hear what Ashley had to say about this shit. And so, yeah, do your research because it doesn't really make sense to interview somebody, especially because, like, Ashley got on there and took zero accountability. So it's like you didn't have any of the facts. She's telling you, I found out here, but we have receipts where it's clear she didn't find out there, and then she tries to act like the reunion was the last time she spoke or the last time she really went hard to defend him. Okay, what about Vial Files? Because even if that was close to the reunion, that was still, Vial Files was still after Bryce's statement, and she was saying it with her chest just like she was in the reunion. So what are we really talking about here? But anywho, second in defense of AD, I think AD sees herself in Ashley. I think she feels like I'm looking in a mirror, like we both had the same experience because they both did get quite a bit of hate after their seat. Like they were a favorite and then they were getting hate. Like it's kind of like that double-edged sword situation. But sometimes that hate will drown out the good because they were both pretty loved when their seasons came out. So I don't know. But I think she saw that in a mirror where it was like, oh, these people are being disgusting to her just like me. But I don't think AD understands, like, there's a giant difference, right? Like, let's be real. AD, most of her commentary was the pick-me-ness of her with Clay, which can be explained away simply as she fell in love with him. She was blind to it. She was on her own path in that regard. But the most of the smoke for her was, like, her lashes, her leave-out, her hair, like, how she looked and all of that. Which it's like, sometimes we just... Sometimes we just have to, like, be accountable. Even if it seems silly. Even if it's like, why are people being so mean talking about my leave out? It's like, girl, if there was leave out, there was leave out. Like, if we looking crusty on TV, we looking crusty on TV, right? Lean into it, make a couple jokes about yourself, and move forward. Make sure your hair don't look like that no more. Like, it's that simple. To try to say, because calls from coming from inside of the house is, like, her favorite thing to say, apparently, because I watched Ricky and Jesse will cover this. Like, any video they've made since, I've watched. And so, yeah, Jesse Wu shows a clip where she's saying that in a conversation with Marissa and Alex. And it basically was that whole conversation of coming from inside the house. It's Black women tearing down Black women. And while I'm not the one to speak on that, obviously, I mean, listen, I don't care what nobody says. Dominicans are Black. Argue with your mammy. But the thing is, like, they're holding each other accountable. That's it. Like, holding someone accountable cannot be connected to race. Like, me being Dominican, I will speak on Dominican women's wrongs. I'm not going to not hold them accountable because they're also Dominican. So I think that AD saw herself in Ashley, and so there's kind of like that bond there, and so she's got blinders on. she's not seeing clearly. She's got blinders on. She didn't watch the things she should have watched. Like, for them to speak on Bri, both of them acting like, oh, that five-part thing didn't need to happen, or like talking down on it or minimizing it, you shouldn't have even been having this conversation. But that's as far as my defense of AD goes. I feel like, well, we'll get into it when we talk about her calling out Jessie Woo, but I'm inclined to agree with Jessie that she is... Oh, I hope I don't get hate for saying this, but I'm just gonna talk real. Listen, I don't hold bars on this channel. She's the token. She was made the token. If allegedly, speculatory, in my opinion, it seems like she was made the token. I don't know much about the podcast, but what I'm hearing is it is like backed by kinetic or kinetic adjacentness. Like, I think she was asked to be the host. She didn't like come up with this podcast idea and they just so happened to be like, okay, here's some money for it. I think that it was like their idea with her as the face. So she's like that token face. You know what I mean? And so she has all the guests on there, and basically she gets to kind of help them spin the narrative that they're trying to spin, because they're trying to shut down the talk, which is that Black people are being played on Love is Blind. And it's true. It's factual. The men that are being put on Love is Blind, Tyler's season alone was like, the Black men that are being chosen, the way the Black women are being portrayed, like it. But anywho, that's besides the point. We are jumping right in. Those are my thoughts on it. I do feel like she's kind of the face of something. I don't think she realizes it. Like, I think she's genuinely like, again, it's that whole calls coming from inside the house, right? Like, if anyone says that to her, it's like Black people tearing Black people down. And it's like, that's not what's happening, baby. It's just that you got blinders on and you can't see things for what they really are. They start off talking about the baby mama. And in my opinion, they are just like minimizing and downplaying the situation to just drama or some woman that was being messy. Ashley is still talking I would say very degradingly about Bri. She's still kind of like, I don't understand why she did that. I don't understand. I mean, I guess I get it. Like, trying to minimize, trying to rewrite history, which she does this whole interview. We'll talk about it. But for one, Bri states why. And for two, I felt like Ashley really minimized a conversation that is very important to that community, to the LGBTQ community. Which is, Bri was saying, she's a mask presenting lesbian. Like, she right? Like, it's like, I only date women energy. And so to someone like that, to admit that they slept with a man, we all know the stereotypes in the LGBTQ community for gay men as well as gay women. So like gay men and women who strictly, it's like, I'm a lesbian, women, I'm a gay man, men, right? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, where it's that like, I could turn them, right? You have women who are like, I could turn them straight. You have men who are like, I could turn her straight. And so it can be difficult to talk about things like that, because then you're feeding into those stereotypes, you're feeding into those negative conversations, right? Sexuality, I agree, is a spectrum. And so I agree that it's not as black and white. Like, people always want to put a label on something. They want you to be bi, lesbian, or gay. Like, you have to pick a label and that's you. That's not always the case. And also people, I'm getting all into this and I'm an ally. So I'm part of the community in that way. But I think a common thing is you feel pressured to pick a label, you pick that label, and then if you are not that label, good luck getting out. Good luck getting out, because the people are going to hate you. And sadly, often it's in their own community, but also outside of it, where it's like, see, she got turned straight, or see, she wasn't, bi was just a phase, like stuff like that. And so again, we all know, those of us not trying to be dense, know why that was so difficult for her to admit. It wasn't some, like, because what other reason would there be, Ashley? Like, what other reason would there be for her to deny it at first and then admit it? Like, you're not making sense. It's not making sense. And yeah, so I hated that she minimized that, because it is a very important, valid feeling and valid story for many people in that community of like, I can't say that because it's going to damage who I am, or it's going to damage the fact that I want to continue to define myself as lesbian, whatever it is. And so, yeah, I hated that she minimized it. She also minimized, the situation with the children. Like, it sucked to see that. Like, I really thought she was gonna get on here on some like accountability shit. You know what I mean? Poking fun at herself. Like, I saw it and chose not to see it. Like, that type of energy. I want to talk about this now because it's not in my notes, but I did remember it as I was watching Jessie Woo and Ricky talk about it. But when AD asks her, like, is there anything you miss about it? Or like, is there anything that was hard to let go of or something, like in the separation, divorce, whatever? And she says like how she misses being part of the Secret Wives Club or whatever the heck. And that made it clear to me that like, she just wanted to be married. She came on the show because she just wanted to be married. And yes, she didn't know about Tyler's situation until after they were already legally married. But I think she stayed married as long as she did because she just wanted to be married. It didn't matter who it was or what it was. She just wanted to be married, and she liked the title and, you know, the perks that come with being a wife. It's clear in that conversation because that's the only thing she claims to have missed or whatever it is. And then we also have her talking about how a month into the marriage, so before we've seen anything, because this, right, we see things a year out. A month into the marriage, she noticed the red flags. She noticed he wasn't who he said he was. She talks about, you know, all the things he said in the pods and how they weren't showing up in her marriage. She's like, a month in, she noted it. But yet, a year later, we're still having fun, like, portraying this beautiful couple, right? Because obviously, in the edit, and I said it's too good to be true. It's too good to be true, right? They were the praying, united couple. And they were not. A month in, you're off your rocker. And so when the show comes out like a year plus later, you're like, yes, that's us, Black love, posting photos and, you know, like loving that people were loving you. We know what you were here for. We do. And I don't think she thought it would come out. I think she thought that they would bury it really well. And Bri was like, not up in here. Not up in here, not with me, not with my kids. Speaking of Bri, she keeps saying she doesn't think that Bri, in so many words, I think she's trying to say that both of them actually, even AD, she didn't need to like bring this to social media. Like, it got ugly, poor kids, whoop de right? We're trying to gaslight, we're trying to rewrite history, we're trying to suddenly act like we care about these kids. Bri did not have a choice because, and I'm going to bring back my conversation about Liler. I'm pretty sure in Dear Future Wifey podcast was where I really harped on it. This was these children's father. Regardless of how these children were conceived, whether the son was a sperm donation, whether the twins were natural, whether both were natural, all of that is not important to, other than that he's a freaking liar, psychopath, allegedly speculatory, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes only. None of that is important in terms of the children. What's important is that he became the children's father. All three children, old enough to call him dad, old enough to recognize him, old enough to see him, have him in his life. He was in their life up until his flight to leave for the show. So these kids know this man as dad. Anyone out there who has a father, even if it's someone in your life, but like that's who you know as your dad, gets on a show. The conversation gets brought up, and now you're just sperm babies. You're donor babies. You're just, I donated, I don't know them, I don't talk to them, I have no relationships with them. Your mother has essentially no choice but to speak, but to clarify for the public in hopes of like mitigating the damage that your dad just did. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to sit there and be like, oh, she didn't have to go public, she could have moved to, he didn't have to go public, baby. He didn't have to get on this show with all them damn skeletons in his closet. Like, crazy work. And what's crazy to me is that the same coming from inside the house women that got all that smoke about Jessie are not having that smoke for Tyler and what he did to little black children. To little black children, to another black woman. Like, what are we talking about? So is it only from inside the house when it's an attack on you? Is it only from inside the house when you're being wronged? Don't matter about other black people? Like, make it make sense. One of them little black children is a little black girl who will be a black woman like you. Bree had to speak out. Bree didn't have a choice in the matter. Bree had to do what had to be done. to defend her kids and love on her kids and correct this nasty man for what he was doing. What gets me about this too, and I know, we hate when people say, well, this is what I would have done, because we don't really know. However, based on many people who've spoken on this situation having the same sentiments, I'm inclined to believe most of us would do this. Like, it wouldn't really, it's not a crazy difficult thing, but okay, Ashley, fine. You didn't know. This man looked at you and said, I was a sperm donor, and that's it. I'm so sorry I didn't tell you that up front, but like, that's it. I don't know these kids. Nope, don't have any photos of them because I'm not in their lives like that. She has me blocked because she wanted to raise them alone, etc. Cool. I need her information. If we're going to get married here, I need, because again, found this out before you were legally married. I need her information. You call her. If she goes against what he said, you say, I need some receipts. Can you provide me with some proof of that? And you would have had all the proof you needed because all the proof was out there. Babes. Like, I don't understand. It's that simple. She's talking about everyone believed him. The producers believed him. His mom was saying this. Everyone in his family. I even tried to pull aside a little cousin. Like, hey girl, where are your other little cousins? Sweetie. Y'all, I'm sorry. I refuse at our big age, because they old as hell too at this point. At our big age, we are not aware that men's families and friends will lie for them. That's your defense? I had all the proof I needed to believe him? Everyone was corroborating his story? All of his people is your, like, gotcha, see? I wasn't dumb. You're dumb. You're dumb. Allegedly, you're dumb. I've said this all the freaking time. That favorite line of the guy's friends, he ain't never been like he is with you, with any other girl. He love you for real. Now, his mama is nasty work that she lied in that woman's face, but it's his mama. And we all know how it go with boy moms, with most boy moms. I'm just saying, truthfully, baby. I know you want to be intuitive and intelligent and the woman who doesn't put up with shit, but that's not your story. Like, Ashley is like fighting, like tooth and nail. Like, I'm a smart woman. Like, I'm intuitive. Like, I don't know how he slipped through the cracks. He really had me fooled. He had you fooled because you didn't want to see it. You wanted to be married. And so you were like, you know what? Fine. Believe in this lie. And that's it. The reunion, all of that, the conversation, because she said they had it off camera and then on camera, and she dictated how it went and what to say. You wanted to try to spin it so that you could be married. You could be the next Lauren and Cameron, and not even Lauren and Cameron, because this would have been different, because had their story gone how it was going in the beginning, Black love. Tiffany and Brett 2.0. There we go. Tiffany and Brett 2.0 is what she wanted. So it didn't matter. It didn't matter that little black babies was going to be left in the dust, because that's the thing. This interview was her gaslighting us, for real. She was trying to, like, backtrack on the way she handled the situation to make it seem like I was just like a bystander trying to defend my man and everybody's beating. No, you were nasty about it. Donor babies is crazy. Even if you thought that's what it was. If there is a narrative out there that there's a possibility that he was their dad, ew. And then on the Vow Files, you know, when I told him, like, would you be ready to have that conversation when they're 18? When they're 8. Oh my God. Girl, like, that's crazy. Y'all know to say shit like that and then try to get on this podcast to be like, I called them donor babies because that's what they were. I meant no ill intent. Shut the fuck up. Because if you meant no ill intent when it was made clear that the phrasing is ill intent, you would have stopped using it. You double down. So, with all that. Honorable AD mentioned here, once again, minimizing what was going on when she is stating how she didn't watch the 5-part series and she stopped because she was like, I ain't in it. Like, it felt like Love is Blind After Dark to minimize Black children being abandoned. Because at the root of all of this, that's what this is. So when Ashley wants to say, this wasn't about the kids, it was about attacking me. It was a takedown on me and Tyler. The arrogance, the like self-centeredness, the like, I am more important than everyone in the world, to think that everyone on social media speaking about this, it's about you and some sort of takedown of you, is insane when there are 3 Black children who have been abandoned and left without a father to deal with all of the trauma that comes with that. For you to be able to like be on camera being like, it wasn't about those kids. It was about taking me down and taking Tyler down. I don't even know words for it because what the fuck, bitch? What the fuck? Are you for real? Okay. And this is coming from a woman whose dad did not play an active role in her life. She was okay with this man not talking to these kids till they were 18. Yeah, 18, I'll have to explain the truth to them. What truth, bitch? That you left them? Because they have pictures of you as their daddy. Matching Christmas sets. Shirts that say dad. Like, what are you talking about? And the like minimization and talking negatively on and down on continues with the poof abracadabra twins. Ashley's like, yeah, it was a one night stand. It was a one loss of one loss in judgment or whatever, and poof abracadabra twins, as if we don't know that is how sex can work. It don't work like that for everybody, but for some people, it takes once. So what the hell was that abracadabra twins? As if it's some sort of lie. Like, as if she couldn't have possibly conceived twins from having sex with them one time. Are you dumb? Not to mention, can we understand that Tyler's story is still that they had the freaking sperm stored in their refrigerator? You're telling me that there's still a part of you that thinks that could be true? Ow! Seek help. What? The abracadabra twins was crazy, y'all. That's all I gotta say about that. Then we have Ashley going on to say how, because I think AD says, like, how did you find out? Or what was your, like, moment of, like, realization? Oh, I found out myself. I had to put my detective hat on. I said enough is enough, and I looked through his computer. Shut the fuck. I'll give her, she might have found corroborating evidence, like more evidence. You had all of the physical evidence and proof you needed. The pictures had already come out at that point. Bry's mom was speaking about the abandonment. Like, you had everything you needed at that point. Because she states this was after the reunion, the searching through his computer and what she found. She says she found Google Meet conversations between them that made it clear that did happen, like that the twins were his or whatever, or that he did agree to be a father to at least the twins, right? Because she's still somewhat, I feel like when you listen to her speak, she still somewhat stands by some of his story, which is insane, but whatever. For her to act like I cracked this code, and like claiming she didn't have all the information, and then this is where if you like, I don't know if she forgot that it's the internet and people have been speaking about her situation, so there's like timestamps on everything, when everything came out, when everything was discovered, all of that. So she tries to claim that by the reunion, Bry hadn't made her videos, and if she had seen them, she would have done something differently, right? And, oh, she hadn't seen photos up until a certain point. The thing is, by the reunion, the photos were out, and the grandma had already spoken, and Bry had already made, like, a written, like, I'm gonna, whatever, the truth is coming, or some shit. So by then, you already had proof that he was lying. But what does she say? We were already married by that point. So she's trying to act like, oh, I didn't know anything. At the reunion, I put my hands out like this and I held his hands and I asked him, am I sleeping with the enemy? Is there anything more? Just tell me. Don't throw me out to the wolves and send me out there. And he said there was nothing. You already had all of that information. It was already clear that he lied about them just being sperm babies. She herself says, he said, when she asked for pictures, he said, I don't have any because I don't have a relationship with them. And then there's pictures of him holding them with dad shirts and matching Christmas pajamas. The grandma got me that. Why you put it on? She got you it and forced it over your head and your arms like a little freaking baby? Like, no. Stop with the stupidity, bro. Mind you, he wasn't, I think he was like 25, 26 or something. Like, he was old enough to know better about, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to play like I was just an innocent kid who was silly. You weren't 22, you were like 26 or something. I fully don't understand why she, like, continued to act as if she didn't have the information until, like, she went searching for it. Not to mention in the reunion, she says, like, you know, who knows better than about my relationship, me or the internet? Like, all of my friends are detectives. They call me detective. They call me to search for stuff. And you didn't find any of this, bitch. None of it. Not to mention, again, let's be reminded, Tyler has cases against him from many women about money, about evictions, about sunglasses and property that weren't. You didn't. Okay, girl. To be clear, I want to say, I do feel for her. She handled this terribly. But what can't be negated is that the situation with Tyler, in terms of, like, her relationship with him, is terrible. And it's awful that that happened to anybody. Like, to get into a marriage and find out that this is who you married, not to mention, I think he's going to make the divorce very difficult for her. Very. Judging by the way he's handled other, like, actual situations being legally handled against him, I don't think that I don't know. We'll see. I hope it goes smooth for her. I hope she's not a terrible human. She just handled the situation very poorly. And I think it had a lot to do with her pride and her wanting to, like, you know, remain smart, intuitive, and you know, no nonsense woman that she was. The classy culture on her back, okay? Culture on her back. Woman that she was, okay? She was classy, okay? I'm sorry. So yeah, I do want to say I feel for her. That is terrible. I can't imagine what that felt like internally, but you handled it very poorly and then took no accountability for it and are still not taking accountability for the words you said and the way that you were. Like, she's trying to rewrite history. She's trying to, where it's like, yeah, I spoke up, but it was in defense of him. And people hated me over what he did. No, people did not like you because of the way people loved you. And people were like, she's going to see it, give her a minute. Or like, Ashley, look. And you were like, y'all ain't married and it shows. Oh, and then in this interview, she tried to gaslight us about that too. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but we're going to toss it in here anyways. You're not married and it shows. Then she tried to say, actually, if you watch it back, what I was trying to say, what I meant was, so if you watch it back, you're going to hear the same thing because she said, you're not married and it shows. But now she's trying to gaslight us and convince us that what she meant was, if you were married, you would know you don't just leave. That's not that simple. That's not what you meant. You were digging. You were being petty. You were trying to say it's a bunch of single women talking on a married woman because you're a little secret wives club, right? That's what that was about. And to try to gaslight an entire freaking community who knows better is insane. That's not what you meant by that. You shouldn't. And this is what, just fucking take accountability. I was a dumbass bitch. I was stupid. Why would I say that, y'all? That's what I'd be in that mic looking into AD's camera. Like, why would I say that, y'all? Why would I say that nonsense? Knowing what this man had already done. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this, because this is really what we all care about. This is really what we all was like, the Jesse Wu call out. You know, it's this disgusting, vile, loud presence. It's a loud presence. Now, speaking of coming from inside the house, describing a Black woman as loud is crazy work. Crazy work to refer to a Black woman as loud. You know what that is. Insane. Listen, when I heard her saying that, I was like, ew. And I knew, y'all. I knew better. And y'all knew better. Crazy. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, just vile and disgusting things. And mind you, y'all, they haven't said these words about Tyler at all this entire interview. Ashley's been like, I want to be careful about what I say because I don't want to stoop as low as him. I don't want to. But you will call another Black woman disgusting. Inside the house is calling us right now. Like, girl, what the fuck are you doing? This is what's crazy to me. AD talking about inside the house, and then they proceed to call from inside the house. The comedy in that. They tried to say that Jesse was preying on her downfall. Ashley continues to claim that it was for clicks and views and clickbait, and that it was not about the kids. I'm so happy that I watched Jesse Wu and Ricky talk about it before this, because Jesse Wu reminded me, she made sure them kids had hella Christmas money. She helped Bri with a lot at that time. Like, she really was advocating for the kids. How was it not about the kids? You sound silly. And once again, arrogant and self-centered. It's not all about you, Ashley. The world is not thinking, let's attack Ashley, and that's our mission in life here. It's not. It was about the kids. And it's crazy that all this time later, you still get on a podcast and don't understand how it was all about the kids. It's sad. It really is. And I truly hope that you will reflect and reach that point at some point. That you were nasty to these kids, speaking about these kids. And I won't lie, I think she did play a pretty big role in this, like, how they pushed the story. You know what I mean? I don't think Tyler was smart enough to, like, campaign the way she was campaigning, you know? Really quickly, I want to touch on her, because part of her narrative of trying to make herself the victim and that the only reason people hated her was because of Tyler. One of the things she kept saying was, like, I was already married. I was already married. And AD too. It's like, yeah, like, you were already married. People, like, it gets filmed a year before. Like, what did they want you to do? How did they think it was helpful to be like, girl, look, so that she could get out of the marriage? Like, what do you mean? I was already married at that point. You guys don't understand. You guys, I really need us to understand that this is insane. To be like, I was already married and I didn't know what to do. So here are the facts, just to give them to you real quick. Tyler had multiple legal cases against him about shit he did. There was court for the kids, but there was also women he owed money to. He had multiple evictions on his record. He wasn't showing up to court. All of the evidence that came out that he was their dad, that he played the father role in these kids' lives, the pictures with the matching PJs, everything I keep mentioning, all of that came out. And she's talking about, I was already married. It was not that simple. Anybody who hears all of that should have ran. And I refuse to believe that a single person in your life would have looked at you and said, you got to stay and fight. You got to stay with that man. That's who you should have kids with. That's who you should start a future with. Not to mention, she tries to act like, oh, I was saying it with my chest before I got all the information. But once again, all the information was out there and she knew about it. At the very least, because fine, I'll give it to her up until the reunion. Vile Files podcast and how nasty she was, all the information was out, y'all. She was even on there trying to say that Ricky, not that she made it up, but that the person who gave her the text messages, anybody could make Tyler the name and write whatever. And so then Ricky showed these are the first 6 digits of the phone number, because she had already confirmed that phone number with Bri and Bri's mom. So she had all of this information and was still saying it with her chest. She got on that Zoom call interview with the Y'all Ain't Married and It Shows and had all the information at that point. Those 2 interviews that she did, Bri had already spoken. All the evidence had already come out. All the court evidence, everything was out at that point, and she was still very much saying it with her chest. Honestly, it was just really upsetting to, like, see her take zero accountability, to see her try to paint herself as the victim and to act like all the hate was coming from people getting mad at her because of what Tyler did. Like, she knows it's not that. She does. She was nasty in interviews. She was saying things with her chest that she didn't need to be saying. Like, she knows the truth, and AD should have done her research so that she could have actually made this an interview worth watching. Not to mention, like, Jessie Wu already stated, like, Ricky already stated, like, her saying, like, oh, I wish, like, they spoke to me like they would speak to their homegirl, and, like, maybe I would have received it better. They did speak to you like they would speak to their homegirl, because most of us hold our girls accountable. Me and my friends can say to each other, don't do that. Ooh, I don't know. I'm going to tell you the truth and tell you my opinion. Like, so to sit there and say, so y'all just got a bunch of yes women in your life is what that's what they're getting at. Is that them and their friend group are just people who are like, yes, girl, yes, no matter what she does. And then when the fall off comes, everybody pretends to be shocked with her. Like, what are we talking about here? Anywho, I am officially done with this. I don't feel like more will come out. I don't see her, like, speaking on it more. I don't see AD being like, like, talking about, like the feedback from it. I just don't see it. So I mean, whatevs. But that's all I have to say on the matter. I can't believe it's like officially wrapped up. I mean, it was kind of wrapped up back when we talked about Tyler and Dear Future Wifey podcast. But this did kind of tie, it didn't really tie a bow though, because I wish, like I said, if she had been accountable, that would have been a bow. That would have been like, she came out here and she was like, I was dumb. The internet did know more than me. Like, poke fun at herself and like really understood what she did. Because I don't think she gets what she did. Like how she degraded those kids. How she, you know, like handled that. It was like she was handling Tyler's PR for him, but she didn't understand that the detriment to the children of doing that, you know. That's all I have for you guys. Like the video if you enjoyed. Comment down below, what did you think? Opinion, give me all of it. I need all of it. Subscribe for more content like this, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.